cool. Yeah, no physical copies. We are going to still try and create a physical thing for you guys, though, and that's a good starting point for this conversation. You might have heard about cryptoart. You might have heard about it just sort of in passing. You might have heard about it in sort of, I don't know, there's a lot of lame ways people talk about crypto and Bitcoin and all that stuff. And I'm actually not really into that at all. Like, I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't, go around worrying about the finance industry. I mean, we're artists, full stop. And I don't really spend energy trying to get rich. So crypto is not interesting to me in terms of the way that people are trying to change money. I do think it's very important that we change how money moves around and works for equality, but I'm not really out here trying to beat everyone else at getting money. So that said, there is a lot of amazing things happening in crypto that aren't about just trying to get rich and win the stock market. Specifically crypto art. This is a philosophical conversation that I've had and I've learned about the last year with some people who are involved, and it's gonna happen. It's coming. You've got artists like RAC who are dropping crypto art pieces. Mike Shinoda just sold a social media post. There's a bunch of DJs doing stuff. There's comedians like Zach Fox doing stuff, and this is the new way for artists to commodify their product, and for fans and consumers to own something in a digital world. You're still talking about digital art, you're still talking about digital files, but the long and short of it is the way that the crypto piece fits into this and the blockchain fits into this is that you're able to authenticate the file so there can be a limited number. So I can make a piece of art and I can say there's one of these and one person can buy it. You can screenshot it, you can screen grab it, you can screen record it, you can put it all over social media. It can get 50 million views on your page. But it's possible to say that the file that exists is none of those. And there's one. Or you can say we're making 100 of these and people can buy them and they are authenticated by the blockchain. That's why it's called crypto art, because this new technology that people are developing that democratizes all kinds of things from money down to, what's a good example? I'm not sure. Basically lets you say, this is the actual thing. I own this. You can trade it. It can change in value. And it's a very, very sort of mind-blowing thing. Now, the really real-world example of how to explain how this works philosophically is the Mona Lisa. There's one Mona Lisa. We all agree there's one Mona Lisa. After that, society has said a bunch of truths about prints of the Mona Lisa. There are potentially prints made by the artist. Maybe they look good because the artist made them. Maybe you just know that the artist made them and sold them. Maybe they signed them. There's 50 of those. So there's the Mona Lisa, which is basically the most valuable piece of art ever made, or whatever, just by way of example. Then say there was 50 official prints of the Mona Lisa, and you bought one of those, and that is worth, this and that. And then there's a guy standing out front of the museum selling prints of the Mona Lisa he made himself. And we have all agreed that those aren't worth anything. Or the people who might buy one going to the museum have decided they're worth $15. That's something we agreed to as a society. It sounds crazy when you break it down, but that's the deal. That's how art works. We've ascribed it value. It's mostly impossible to check it. It's only real because we've all said it's real. So that's the premise with crypto art. If we say we're going to make 10 of something and we put them on sale, and then you see it somewhere else or someone shows it to you on their phone, you in 5 years, in 10 years will have a sort of like societal philosophical understanding that that's not the real thing. That's great. That's how most people experience it. Nothing against it. I haven't seen the real Mona Lisa. still think it's beautiful. And I'm glad I got to see it, outside of whatever museum it's in right now. Louvre? I don't know. Let's not get too serious. And that's that. There is a set of them. We're going to make 10 of these, we're going to make 25 of these, we're going to make one of these, and you can decide whether it has value to you. So that's what we're going to do. We've already done it. Actually, let me back up. I'm going to probably spend a lot of time on here the next month before the album comes out explaining this again, but we have made the cover art for the EP what's called an NFT, which is a non-fungible token. And this is a form of crypto art. You mint these tokens like a coin. You mint them, and you use various sites that are popping up. There's a bunch of popular sites, a couple popular sites, and if you go to these sites, you will see a gallery of crypto art. Very, very awesome, amazing art is being made. And there's of course new genres popping up. There's new techniques popping up that are considered the style of a lot of the early crypto art. But you go there, there's a gallery, and there's one of these, there's 10 of these, there's 50 of these, there's 100 of these, and that's the real deal. Those are the files. When you buy one of those, it's authentic. You own it. You have a means of saying it's real. You can trade it with someone. You can sell it, but it's not just a picture on your phone anymore if you don't want it to be. So what we've done is we made the cover art for our EP crypto art. We've made it an NFT, a non-fungible token. We haven't decided exactly how many we're going to mint yet of this and what the initial cost is going to be, but it's not going to be that high. The point isn't for us to do an auction. We aren't in the position to do that. When you see a guy like RAC, he's making a one-of-one original art piece. He's collaborating with a visual artist, and he's putting original music, and he's saying, I'm going to make one of these, I'm going to sell it at an auction. And he's sold things for thousands of dollars. I believe Mike Shinoda sold this post for 10 grand. That's because Mike Shinoda has enough fans with enough money that he thinks he needs to make 10 grand off of a piece of art this way. We're looking at this more as like ambassadors to something new, a new way to make artist sustaining projects and products. You could look at this like merch. You may start to see these kinds of things pop up on people's merch sites. I am just so excited by what we were able to make that for me and for the band, it's a very creative endeavor. We didn't set out to say, how do we make something for money if we can't sell CDs and we don't want to make 150 shirts right now? That's not how this happened. What happened was we went to make our logo, which you saw, and the artists we work with had been developing techniques that at the same time I was seeing the crypto art space develop, and they were sort of doing some of the same things. So you see our logo is 3D. I still don't understand how the fuck he made our logo. I believe it's a photograph of a 3D projection. So that's why, and it's hyper real. It's not possible to have this thing in the real world, but it looks like it's made of real things. So when we saw that technique and we saw what our logo looked like, and I saw the kind of art that was developing in the crypto space, we said, why don't we turn this thing into a piece of crypto art? So what you have for our cover art is a moving 27-second hyper real visual of the title and the logo. There's a still that we have to put on Spotify. Obviously we can't tell Spotify we're not going to put a picture up. We have an album art. We're going to send it to all the press. That's still the real version of our album cover is this piece of crypto art, this NFT, the non-fungible token. And it has an instrumental section from Nathan that doesn't exist. It's not like the instrumental is out. Maybe we'll release the instrumental. But if you buy one of these things, you're going to be getting this incredibly high quality piece of audio visual content. You could project this on a wall in your apartment like a piece of art. That's one way that people use the crypto art that they buy. And you would probably need the really good high quality file that you own to do that. You wouldn't be able to do that off of your phone. So we've decided to take the cover art, which you can't buy because we're not making CDs. The cover art is just another image online. And we've recommodified the cover art by making it a non-fungible token, an NFT, a piece of crypto art. This is a 27-second audio visual piece of art that we are going to offer you. We're probably going to make 25 of these. I don't think 10's enough. I think there's more than 10 of you who will want to support this and who will find this too hard to pass up and too exciting of a thing to not participate in. I think 50 is aggressive. And I think we're going to keep doing this because we have a relationship now with this artist who is so brilliant. If you saw our logo, I think you would know that. But he's also doing some amazing things. And there's all kinds of new programs popping up and new styles. And people are using these things in ways that are unimaginable. So if you visit sites like Super Rare, or another one is called Nifty Gateway, we're probably going to use a new site called Zora because they have just a mind-blowingly holistic vision of the future of ownership of creative products and internet-owned brands. The example they use is resale of sneakers. This is another popular example for why crypto authenticated, blockchain authenticated art is so important. Yeezys are the best example. I mean, obviously Kanye doesn't need more money, but it's a good way of explaining it. Yeezys cost $220. The day they go on sale, there's people who buy them and sell them for $1,500 or $20,000 in certain cases. Kanye doesn't see any of that money. Adidas doesn't see any of that money. That's not a problem for a band like us, but it is a problem in general, and it needs to be solved. So the way that the internet-owned brands that this company Zora envisions works is that basically everyone who buys in is an owner, and the value of these things goes up and down based on demand. You have to read about it. I can't really just break it all down for you. So, but just think about it in those terms. The Mona Lisa, there's one Mona Lisa. We've decided that the Mona Lisa is probably a bad example because they weren't printing like that. Keith Haring. There's Keith Haring prints that are made by his estate, or they're made on really gorgeous paper by the museum that is holding the Keith Haring, and those 100 prints are worth a lot also. And then the one, if I print out a Keith Haring on my printer at home and I go on the street and sell it, it has no value. That's what a screen grab is. But if the band says, we made 10 of these, they're authentic, you can check that with the blockchain, then you know it has value. So that's where crypto art's going. You're going to see a lot of artists doing this. Honestly, because streaming doesn't pay shit, and because we've been just going straight into the dumps from recorded music having value, and no one's been able to figure it out, and everyone tried to do not putting my stuff on streaming, which is Taylor Swift's move, which is obviously not going to work. And this is the new solution. And it's not just for music. Think about photographers. Everyone who's a photographer has been complaining about the value of their work going down because of IG and all the capabilities. I'm not a technophobe. I'm actually the total opposite of that. I completely back technological advancement. I do think that this is a brilliant way to restructure how we move products around. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop our EP on the 12th. It's called One. The new song is called Network. It's fucking fire. There's gonna be some really funny graphics that come out before that. We're not gonna have a music video or anything like that because we're focused on this non-fungible token, this NFT. So go look this up. It's called NFTs. And get a feel for what's going on in the space. I'm going to start sharing some more of that on the feeds. Make sure you guys are educated and ready. We'll probably give away shirts and stuff for people who buy these, so you still have that real world piece. And we'll make a few posters and sign them and do some contests and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. Super stoked. Actually cannot wait to show you this thing. It's mesmerizing. We've been watching it on loop for like 2 weeks straight once we finished it. It's one of the coolest things we've ever made. And it's really hard as an artist to really grasp something like this because you would have never thought about making this like 2 weeks ago, or 2 months ago. And suddenly you're looking at one of your favorite pieces of artwork you've ever been a part of. So that's where we're at right now. So hope you guys get this. Hope this sounds fun to you and you will participate. Don't have any other news in terms of shows or anything like that. Everything's fucked. But we do have a ton more music for you, and we're covered. So we worked hard as fuck for so long that we're good, and we're frankly ahead of our time. So we're good until next year at least. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Always DM us. Just keep an eye out as we roll this thing out. Shout out Facebook. Shout out IG. Mad love, you guys. TTYL.